At this time, I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee meeting for August 16, 2021 to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Burridge. Here. Counselor Walker. Here. Counselor Gozick.
Here.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of our August 2nd, 2021 meeting? Counselor Walker, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business under communication. Item number 1, the Zoning and Planning Office has received a request from Julia Kinsey, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 93 Niagara Street, for use of public space in order to install a fence. Mr. McGann?
Ms. Kinsey's looking for use of public space to a 4-foot picket fence with some low-lying shrubbery on the inside of that, about 4 foot in from the sidewalk. She is on a corner, but I think because she's back, I didn't see any visual issue with traffic or pedestrian. 4-foot picket generally, even if it's out further to the sidewalk, generally doesn't propose any problem. And then she just wants to do some shrubbery and landscaping on the inside of the fence.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. McGann? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 2, the Zoning and Planning Office has received a request from Tina Tucker, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 351 East 9th Street, for use of public space in order to install a fence.
So Ms. Tucker is looking for use of public space to kind of go from her house out and around and back to her garage to close in the rest of her yard. She has a dog, and she has a patio there, so if you look at the drawing, there's a little jog there, and then it comes back to the garage. Because of the size of the dog, she wishes to go 5 foot high. So if we grant her use of public space, she'd be coming before us in September to get a variance, to get a variance to go 5 foot high. Again, corner property, it's quite a ways away from the corner where the fence actually is, so I don't see that there's any issue with that. And I wouldn't imagine she'd have any trouble getting the 5 foot for the variance.
Any questions for Mr. McGann? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
And item number 3, the Department of Public Works and Parks and Recreation has received a request from Jane LeBlanc of SUNY Oswego for the use of public space at Brightbeck Park to place a tent, tables, and chairs to be used by members of the Oswego County Suicide Prevention Coalition to share and give out information regarding suicide prevention on September 25th, 2021. Is there anyone here to speak to this? Does the council have any questions or concerns with the request? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Is there any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Burridge, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call the Administrative Services Committee meeting to order for August 16th. Please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino.
Here.
Counselor McBrearty. Here. Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Plunkett.
Here.
Counselor Burridge.
I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the August 2nd, 2021 committee meeting. Counselor Hill, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty. Here. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Any old business? Seeing none. Item number 1 under new business. Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests authorization for City Chamberlain Deborah Code to transfer funds from the General Fund Contingent Account A19900460 to the Tourism Contracted Services Account A64750440 in the amount of $5,000 in order to sponsor the Central New York Pumpkin Fest in Oswego, hosted by the Oswego YMCA. Is there anyone here to speak to this? Well, I can take this one. I mean, this is an event that we've sponsored in the past, and as we all know, Pumpkin Fest was canceled last year. So it's just what we did in years past as far as sponsoring the Pumpkin Fest. Any questions from the council? Concerns from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor McBrearty.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burge?
Yes. Item number 2, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests a discussion regarding proposed amendments to the social host law. I see somebody that's here that will talk about it. Chief Katie.
Good evening. It's actually the Nuisance Abatement Committee. I think that might be a error on the notes or on the meeting minutes. After several meetings and hearings, the city attorney, actually the assistant city attorney, Ed Isaac, had suggested the aforementioned changes that you guys have in front of you. Mainly, it's removing the director of code enforcement from the hearing committee or from the committee. The main issue with that is he's going out and enforcing issues day to day, and then he's turning around, so he's kind of the judge and the jury. So we wanted to change that, and this gives the mayor some latitude in who's chosen for the committee. It also adds a member of the Common Council to the committee that'll be appointed by the mayor. Secondly, number 2, you'll see that just some verbiage changes. The chief of police in the city of Oswego or his or her designee, and then city attorney and city attorney or the city of Oswego or his or her designee. So that allows the assistant city attorney to participate in meetings and hearings. The question was raised by a private attorney at one of our hearings, whether or not Mr. Isaac could actually be sitting on the committee that night. So that's a change that needs to be made. And finally, just number 3 is to compliance with technical rules of evidence shall not be required. It's an informal hearing. So the rules of evidence, keeping testimony. A question was raised if it was like an actual criminal court hearing, which it's not. So that's why Mr. Isaac wanted that line added into the nuisance abatement law or chapter. I guess this has to head to a local law hearing. Okay, so that's the main gist of it. I didn't know if anybody had any questions. I don't know which council member will be chosen for the committee, but I'll be happy to have whoever joins me.
All right, Chief, any questions from the council on this one for the chief? Certainly understandable. This is a fairly new law, and to tweak it, I guess, makes sense to make sure it's appropriate. How about a motion on this one? A motion. Councilor McBrearty, Council Hill.
Counselor Corradino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burge?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 3, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests that the Common Council accept the low bid submitted by GHD Consulting Services Incorporated in the amount of $113,060 to provide engineering services for the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant Blower Improvements Project. City Engineer Hinderleiter, you got the floor.
I do. Thank you. As you know, you've been committed and have worked hard at investing in our plants. That's also been in partnership with the DEC, with EFC, and other state-level organizations that recognize the importance of these projects. And so we, through the current consultant who's running the East Side project, Jacobs, worked with them on applying for this green infrastructure grant, which is meant to reduce our energy usage at probably what is our largest energy user in the city. At our sewer treatment plants, we have blowers that run 24/7 in the tanks to keep them aerated, and that's probably our single largest energy use in the city. And so any energy improvement we can do there really moves the needle. Also, these facilities are old, and so this lets us upgrade how we're doing it and bring our monitoring and modernize it. And so we solicited, after we received the award notice, we solicited 3 firms we've done a lot of work with in our sewers to bid. This was a sealed bid due to our purchasing rules. And so the results of that bid were included, which is GHD as the low bid with $113,060, Jacobs for $150,491, and Brown and Caldwell for $193,000. It wasn't just low bid wins. This is a qualifications. And so I did go over the qualifications and go over what we were looking to get out of this project with Ken Sherrill, who is with Camden Group and does operate our plants, and his staff are extremely knowledgeable in how these plants work, and he concurred that we agreed to go with GHD at the low bid, which will allow us to capture those extra dollars and use them in the plant rather than just continuing to pay a consultant that extra. So we did go with the low bidder in this case.
All right, very good. Any questions from the council for Jeff on this one, from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Hill.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 4, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests authorization to extend the current lease agreement with Camelot Lodge LLC for an additional 4 months to house the City of Oswego Tourism Center. And I don't see the mayor here, but I did meet with him last week, and I guess there was an issue. If you remember, we already voted on this, and there was an issue with the account that it was going from or to. So basically, we're just tidying up the language and the accounts. So anybody have any questions on this one? It's deja vu all over again here. Seeing none, can I have a motion? Counselor Burridge, Counselor McBrearty.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 5, City Chamberlain Deborah Code requests discussion regarding replenishing funds to the garage budget A51320410 as needed for the marina fuel expense. Mrs. Code?
Thank you, Counselor. This is just to refund the garage budget where the fuel was purchased. We'll refund it from the sale of the marina fuel. Eventually, this will go to the marina budget as soon as we have historical data that we can make a good estimate for the line item.
All right, thank you. Any questions for our City Chamberlain from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 6, the Department of Public Works and Recreation is requesting authorization for the City Chamberlain to complete a transfer of funds from the Water Contingency Fund F19900460 to the Water Fund Transmission and Distribution Materials and Supplies F83400410 in the amount of $75,000 to purchase additional parts needed for water main and fire hydrant repairs throughout the city. And Jeff, are you going to talk about this one too?
I'm going to. This is unscripted, unprompted, but would like to inform the council that, and I think you've noticed in your wards that our water crew, led by Wesley Morse, has worked extremely hard at addressing water issues throughout the city. When hydrants get damaged, when water breaks, he and his crew have worked very hard at taking and making water a priority. As such, we go through what supplies that we have. And so as an engineer, I love seeing our infrastructure repaired and worked on, and can say that if the DPW is requesting this money for parts, it's to stock up for winter breaks. During the winter, your water leaks that occur underground, they start to freeze, the ground starts to move, and they turn into big breaks in the wintertime. And one of the biggest challenges when you have a break is you don't know what you're getting into until you expose the problem. And so Wes has made it a priority to pre-purchase kind of a tool bag of parts that he knows we're going to need and we run into. And I know that he did this last year, and we were able to keep the water crew working all winter long without any major problems. And they've done a great job. And so I hope that you would approve this so that that can continue and they can continue to invest in our water system and keep it whole.
All right, thank you. I don't know about the other counselors, but I know the water department's been in the 7th Ward quite a bit this year. Seems like there's a lot of water repairs and breaks going on. So I think this is probably a good investment here. Any questions or concerns on this one? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor McBrearty.
Counselor Corodino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 7, City Attorney Kevin Caracoli requests an executive session to discuss proposed pending or current litigation in regards to the Port of Oswego Authority and the Oswego Yacht Club litigation. Can I have a motion, please, to go into executive session? Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Hill.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBurney?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burge?
Yeah.